Recently, I made a video about Hirok Raja Deshe. It was liked by many of you. Thank you for the phenomenal response. Yes, Hirok Raja Deshe is a timeless classic. Yes, I love watching it. Each time I watch it, I discover something new about it. It's delightful. But the thought that was constantly present in the back of my mind was, when the movie released, it did not win the National Award for Best Feature Film. The national awards are universally regarded as the best or the most prestigious film awards in India. Why did Hirok Raja Deshe, such a great movie, not win the Best Feature Film Award in the National Film Awards? And even Satyajit Ray did not win the Best Director Award in the National Film Awards for Hirok Raja Deshe. Satyajit Ray won the award for Best Music Direction, not for Best Direction. So who won these awards? These awards went to Mrinal Sen in the Best Director category and his movie, Mrinal Sen's movie Akaler Sandhane in the Best Feature Film category. So naturally I had to watch Akaler Sandhane and I did. So in this particular video I am going to talk about Akaler Sandhane by Mrinal Sen. Akaler Sandhane did not only win National Film Awards, it also won prestigious international awards like the Silver Bear at the Berlin Film Festival. And Mrinal Sen is one of the few Indian filmmakers who has won awards in all of the three prestigious European film festivals, Venice, Berlin and Cannes. At Venice, Mrinal Sen won an award for his movie Ek Din Achanak, and at Cannes he won the prestigious jury award for his film Kharij. In fact, Mrinal Sen is the first Indian filmmaker to be part of the jury at the Cannes Film Festival, which is an incredible honor. So I hope I have established Mrinal Sen's credentials before we delve deeper into what makes Akaler Sandhane such a phenomenal movie. It's great not just in its content but also in its style of movie making. And what I found very interesting is that I feel, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel that in the style of filmmaking, he is not just communicating with his audience, but he's also communicating, Mrinal Sen is also communicating with his filmmaking contemporaries. Maybe he's talking to Satyajit Ray while he's making the movie through the dialogues in his movie that, see, this is what your movies may have done to the people where you were shooting the movie. Or this is what happens when you shoot a movie on location. Some impact is there on the lives of the local population you are trying to depict through your camera lens. So let's talk about the things I noticed about Akaler Sandhane. First things first, I love movies which are films within films. Akaler Sandhane is basically a movie crew going to a village in Bengal trying to film a famine. They are trying to film the 1943 famine, which is regarded by most historians as a man-made famine. All the rations were redirected towards the war effort during the Second World War, resulting in the mass starvation of the poor Bengali villagers. Something which people think is restricted to history, but in the movie Akaler Sandhane it has been shown that it is not a historical fact. It is a fact which is there in the present as well as likely to be there in the future. This is where I have a problem with Mrinal Sen's style of filmmaking. It's not allegorical. He says it in a very direct manner. Famine is present now, it was present in the past, it will be present in the future. That's a dialogue from the movie. They don't make any bones about it. They don't make any rhymes about it. Which is good in the short term. When you watch it, you feel that punch, but it loses its staying power. So I found a nice parallel. I don't know if it's accurate, but I found a parallel between Akaler Sandhane versus Hirok Raja Deshe. Hirok Raja Deshe did not win the award, but I feel Hirok Raja Deshe has more staying power compared to Akaler Sandhane. When you try to recall Akaler Sandhane 20 years later, 30 years later, it's been 40 years since the movie released, you will not be able to recall too many moments from the film. You'll be able to recall the performance was great, the style of filmmaking was great, you felt great while watching it, but if you are asked to recall a sequence from the movie, you'll be hard pressed to do that. That's not the case with Hirok Raja Deshe. You can remember that there was this tiger scene where the tiger froze because Gopi Gain was singing, or there was this scene with a big statue. Those are good cinematic moments which transcend the barriers of time as well as geography. Not completely true for Mrinal Sen's works. I've seen two of Mrinal Sen's works. I'm sure he has made other movies which are better. Akaler 71 and Akaler Sandhane. Both these movies are phenomenal works. It is great filmmaking. It's the kind of filmmaking that I really appreciate, but it does not have the same lasting power. If I have to bring a corresponding example from the world of Hollywood, then in 1994, Forrest Gump swept the Academy Awards. It won the most Academy Awards amongst the other nominated motion pictures. However, two other motion pictures released in the same year have proved to have more staying power. Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino and Frank Darabont's The Shawshank Redemption. So, I don't know. Robert Zemeckis did a good job with Forrest Gump, but did he do as good a job as the others did with Pulp Fiction or The Shawshank Redemption? The movie-loving audience feel that Shawshank Redemption and Pulp Fiction got shortchanged at the award season by Forrest Gump. Again, not taking anything away from Forrest Gump, which is a very sweet movie, but probably not as good as the other two I mentioned. Similarly, Akaler Sandhane did win the award, is a fantastic movie, but does it have the same staying power as Hero Raja Deshe? Let me know in the comment section. Coming back to Akaler Sandhane, it is about a movie crew that goes to a village to film a famine. When this movie crew goes to a village to film a famine, their presence in the village does have an impact. This is a group of people who have moved from a big city, Kolkata, to a village in West Bengal to probably stay there for about a month to finish their shooting, and during the course of their stay they are taking up all the rations, all the vegetables, all the food from the local markets, and that's how they are sustaining themselves throughout their on-location shoot. Because they are doing that, because they are buying those vegetables or those food items at inflated prices, they are racking up the price for the local people, and they are also diminishing the resources at the disposal of the local people. And in order to try to film a famine, they are creating a famine, not very different from the famine that was created by other men during the 1943 Bengal famine that they are trying to talk about. And this has not just been hinted, it has been explicitly mentioned through dialogue in the movie. Akaler khoje elo ar akal toiri kore gelo. Something to that effect. You came in search of famine and you created a famine. One more thing I liked about movies is that even in movies that I've seen where they talk about a film crew filming a movie, they don't use the actual names of the actors as the characters. But in this movie, that is the case. Very few exceptions are there. For example, AK versus AK, where Anurag Kashyap played the role of Anurag Kashyap. Anil Kapoor played the role of Anil Kapoor. But that released 40 years after Akaler Sandhane. Akaler Sandhane had Smita Patil playing the role of Smita Patil, Dipankar playing the role of Dipankar. I think that is visionary stuff in the 1980s. But the thing I really liked most is that while you're making the movie, it's not just a comment on the fact that this particular movie being shot on location is creating trouble for the local population. It's also a commentary on the fact that all the movies that have been shot in the village depicting the reality of the village, put Bengal villages on the world cinema map, may have had an adverse impact on the local population while the movie was being shot, because of the movie being shot on location, because of the strain in resources placed by the very process of filming a movie on location in a village in Bengal. That's remarkable. That takes guts for a filmmaker to talk about. It's introspection of the highest degree, where the filmmaker is trying to highlight that I am trying to highlight your story. People will focus their attention on it. You will be talked about on American movie shows, the reality of Bengal famine. But while we are making the movie, we might be making life very difficult for you. Not just from the point of view of resource crunch, but also we might be outraging the modesty, the sensibilities, the moral sensibility that you might have For example, if I want to hire an actor who is not a professional actor, a villager.
I notice that working with non-professionals, they are happier if they don't see my face while I'm directing.
And I tell the person that their role is the role of a morally shady individual. They might not understand that it's just play acting, it's make believe, it's a movie. They might feel that we are casting aspersions on the character of that person. And once it's on celluloid, once it's on the big screen, they might forever be associated as such and such individual. If it's a corrupt individual, then if the character is corrupt, then the individual might be perceived to be corrupt. If the character is doing something not very pleasant on screen, then the person might be perceived to be of questionable character in real life also. The lines between real and real are blurred in the movie. And the final thing I liked most about Akaler Sandhane is it films some of the filmmaking techniques like the trolley shots, how the trolley shots are filmed, how the light is arranged, and you realize that while they are shooting the movie, all of that was arranged for this particular movie also. You are watching a movie about a movie being made, but you forget the fact that you're watching a movie, which is the inherent appeal of movies. You are constantly reminded that you're watching a movie, but then you forget that the entire thing, the shooting of the movie, is also a movie. It's like a movie within a movie within a movie. It's Inception, except we're talking about movies. It's a highly recommended movie. Please do check it out. But again, as I said, it's as good as it is. It probably does not have the same staying power as Hirak Raja Deshe, but that doesn't take anything away from Akaler Sandhane, which is a phenomenal movie. I did say that it is difficult to recall moments from Akaler Sandhane as things that will stay with you. So I tried to remember the one moment from Akaler Sandhane that I think will have lasting power. It is the shots of Dhritiman Chatterjee playing the role of the director, shouting, "Cut!" And the moment he says cut and the scene shifts, there is this interlude of small village boys running around shouting, "Cut, cut, cut, cut." That will stay with me. That's shot beautifully, and that particular sequence does have lasting power. I do want to mention one more thing about Akaler Sandhane. There is this inherent strife which is hinted at but not addressed on film that often, the strife between the director and the actors. That strife has also been highlighted in Akaler Sandhane. Akaler Sandhane is as much a movie about movie making as it is about famine. It's as much about the content of the movie as well as the process of filming a motion picture. Beautiful in that way. So it does highlight the strife between a director and a movie star also, a prima donna, if one is permitted to use that phrase in the modern context.
No one is indispensable, বুঝলেন? কেউই indispensable নয়.
So when a professional actor refuses to do a role or tears up a contract, leaves a motion picture midway, that does create difficulty for the people making the movie. Now they might think that no actor is indispensable, a filmmaker's vision is of paramount importance, and the filmmaker can always replace the actor with a different actor, sometimes not even with a professional actor, sometimes with an amateur actor. But the very act of replacing one actor with another is quite difficult, especially in the village surroundings where people might misunderstand the concept of movie making. Sometimes the acting might be so good that people forget what is real and what is on reel. The acting can be so convincing that people might start believing it to be real. There have been instances of actors being perceived to be actually bad because they played villainous roles on screen. So something of that effect does happen in Akaler Sandhane also. So that was my review about Akaler Sandhane movie, not just about famine but also about movie making. In many ways, it is a visionary film along the lines of Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, but Full Metal Jacket released in 1987, Akaler Sandhane released in 1980. So in many ways, Stanley Kubrick followed the trend started by Akaler Sandhane, although even in Full Metal Jacket, they don't acknowledge the people playing the role of soldiers as actors. That was acknowledged much later in 2008 in Tropic Thunder, 28 years after Akaler Sandhane released, and even in Tropic Thunder, Tom Cruise did not say he's Tom Cruise, or Robert Downey Jr. did not say he's Robert Downey Jr. Unlike Akaler Sandhane, where Smita Patil was Smita Patil, there was no fictitious name ascribed to her. Highly recommended movie. দাঁড়াও না, একটা ভিডিও বানাচ্ছি তো, মৃণাল সেনকে নিয়ে কথা বলছি, ভিডিওটা হয়ে যেতে যাবো, হ্যাঁ খেতে যাবো, খাবার দাও আসছি. See what I did there? That's what Mrinal Sen did while making Akaler Sandhane in a much better way. Thank you for watching this video. Take care, bye bye, and please don't forget to be awesome.